For some, this past year has flown right by. For others, it felt like it would never end. Let's take a look at some of the events that helped shape the year and may have consequences for the future, shall we? January. We kicked off the year in the dumps with a former disgraced president announcing in November of 22 that he'd be running for president again. Most people could see that he had to run again, as it's his only chance to stay out of prison. If you're thinking of running away to Canada, forget about it. Canada just voted for a 2-year ban on foreigners buying property. February. America saw 5 gun shootings. Courts shoot down a New Jersey law that would allow victims to sue the gun industry. Our military shoots down a Chinese spy balloon. More classified documents were found at former Vice President Mike Pence's house. March. NATO increases its membership with Finland joining. The indicted former president would have America pull out of this important global alliance. Romania becomes the first country to have an AI, artificial intelligence, advisor. South Carolina, prominent tax attorney Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of murdering his wife and son. 171 trillion pieces of plastic now litter the world's oceans, increasing from 16 trillion in 2005. Oil company Saudi Aramco posts earnings of $161 billion for 2022. That's the highest recorded annual profit by a publicly listed company. The UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says the world has less than a decade to stop catastrophic warming. They must reduce greenhouse gases by half in 2030. April, U.S. District Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk suspends Food and Drug Administration's approval of a key abortion pill, mifepristone, leading to U.S. government requests for legal appeal to stop the nationwide ban. Fox News settles a lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for $787.5 million moments before the trial, with Fox admitting that it had defamed Dominion during the U.S. 2020 elections by broadcasting conspiracy theories. The Guinness World Record for the largest afro at 5 feet 5 inches, set for the 3rd time by Avon Dugas of Reserve, Louisiana. May. Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, resigns from Google to speak out about the dangers of AI. 40-year-old U.S. weight loss company Jenny Craig announces that it will close due to the weight of crushing debt. WHO, the WHO, declares COVID-19 over as a global health emergency, but remains a significant threat with 7 million known deaths. The real total is likely to be more like 20 million. Canadian province Alberta declares a state of emergency over unprecedented wildfires, more than 100, that have forced the evacuation of 25,000 people. Vermonters fear tourists might not see the fall foliage. June. Trump is found guilty of sexually assaulting E.G. Carroll, and he's fined $5 million. George Harrison's Here Comes the Sun becomes the first Beatles song to register a 1 billion streams on Spotify. Mike Pence and Chris Christie announced that they're running for president. New York's air quality sinks to the lowest in the world thanks to the Canadian fires. Trump pleads not guilty to stealing top-secret documents found in his house. He claims Mr. Nobody brought them to Mar-a-Lago. July. Israel launches its biggest military operation against militants in the Jenin refugee camp of the West Bank in 20 years, killing 8 people. The hottest global temperature ever recorded as average global temperature tops 17.18 degrees Celsius. NASA beams Ringo Starr's voice wishing peace and love across the universe via the Deep Space Network in honor of his 83rd birthday. Elton John completed his final tour. The finger was removed from the dike of the Dutch government. It collapsed. Barbie, SAG-AFTRA, SAG-AFTRA strike. The show will not go on. The 2023 wildfire season in British Columbia, now most destructive on record. The city of Phoenix, Arizona, breaks a 5-decade heat record, recording 19 consecutive days of temperature at or above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. August. Trump is indicted by Jack Smith for election conspiracy. Trump and 18 others are indicted by Fani Willis in Georgia. July declared the warmest month in 172 years. A 5,300-year-old Anatolian farmer mummy was discovered. Evangelicals who believe the earth is only 6,000 years old scramble to determine how long that he's been farming. Trump is arrested and has a mugshot taken in Georgia. September. Aerosmith begins its final tour. Former Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio is sentenced to 22 years in prison, the longest so far, for a seditious conspiracy in the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Intense flooding caused by the heaviest rainfall in 140 years in Hong Kong. The U.S. sets a record for the number of 23 weather disasters in 1 year, costing more than $1 billion in less than only 9 months. Aerosmith postpones the tour after Steven Tyler blows out his voice. The sound of silence. October. Colombian Army apologizes for the murder of 6,402 civilians and falsely passing them off as left-wing guerrillas to boost their kill rate 15 years after armed conflict with FARC. Yeah, got to keep those kill rate numbers up. New research confirms fossil footprints 23,000 to 21,000 years old at White Sands National Park, New Mexico, probably the oldest evidence of humans in America. This throws a monkey wrench into the Earth only being 6,000 years old. Hamas attacks Israel. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. launches an independent bid for president. Taylor Swift begins the Eras Tour. Not to be outdone, Madonna goes on tour. Kevin McCarthy ousted as Speaker, breaking the record for the shortest term ever. November. 120 fires confirmed still burning across Australia. Speaking of monkey wrenches, 2 ISS astronauts lose a tool bag during a spacewalk 200 miles above the Earth. Will it disintegrate, safely falling to the Earth? We hope. The Beatles released John Lennon's Now and Then, the first #1 single in 54 years. Ohio votes to protect abortion rights and legalize pot. SAG-AFTRA ends the 118-day strike. The show must go on. Daryl Hall sues John Oates, ending the hope of that tour ever happening. Taylor Swift is Spotify's most streamed global artist of the year with 26.1 billion streams. Russia's Supreme Court outlaws LGBTQ+ movement, calling them an extremist organization. December. As of the second week of December, there have been 627 mass shootings in America. That's down 18 from last year, but don't worry, we still have a few weeks left. The House GOP gives George Santos the boot for lying, yet they still support Trump, a known pathological liar. We kiss, the band, goodbye as their tour ends. Taylor Swift is named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. A big deal, Shohei Ohtani signs a North American pro sports record 10-year, $700 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Homelessness in the U.S. increased by 12%, with more than 650,000 people experiencing homelessness. Rudy Giuliani is to pay $148 million to two former Georgia election workers in a civil defamation suit. This will increase the homeless number to 650,001. Channeling his inner Hitler, Donald Trump says immigrants coming to the U.S. are poisoning the blood of our country. Homophobic, climate-denying, religious zealot Speaker of the House adjourns the House for the year after accomplishing absolutely nothing. And so ends another year here on planet Earth. A note to my faithful readers. Thanks to all who have offered positive comments on my 24 columns this year. To those who have offered not so positive comments, keep reading. You may find one that you like. Here's hoping for a very happy new year to all. My name is Bob Stannard. This is The View from my place. Thank you very much.